Perfect, guys. So what we'll do is we'll just wait for 1 or 2 minutes to join a few more participants. Then we will start the session. Okay. So we'll just start in next 1 minute. We'll just start the session in next 1 minute, guys. Perfect, guys. So let's start our session. Before we start our session, I'll just quickly introduce myself, guys. So my name is Sachin Hissaria. I am currently working as a senior IT consultant in a global firm where I look after all the IT audit related assignment, be it an IT GC audit, IT audit, SOX audit, IS audit, BCPDR audit, and whatever is coming under the IT bracket. So I look after that. Apart from that, guys, I am a CAG panel trainer. So I do provide training to the CAG officers about the IT audits and IS audits. I also provide training for the CISA, ISO, and couple of other IT related certification. So this is a brief background about myself, guys. Now, what we will be doing is we'll just quickly understand the audience as well, and we'll just quickly do the introduction round with the audience as well. So what you can do is you can just type your short introduction in a chat box, guys. Okay, just type your short introduction in a chat box so that everybody can read the same and everybody can understand your background. And also while writing your introduction, you may use this information. Okay, guys. So quickly you can write your introduction in a chat. Meanwhile, what I would be doing is I'll also give you the background about our classes. Okay, that in this IT and GRC audit, what we are going to do, how we are going to do. So I'll give you that information. Okay. Meanwhile, what you can do, guys, you can just write your short introduction in a chat box. Okay. A short introduction about yourself in a chat box so that everyone can, get to know each other better. Okay. Perfect, guys. So we all are here for IT GRC audit practical approach training. Okay, so one thing which we need to keep in our mind is what? That this is a practical training. This is a practical training where we will be discussing about IT and GRC audit with the help of practical data. Now, to make it practical, what we have done is we have already created a Google Drive. Okay, we have already created a Google Drive, and I hope everyone have received the access to this Google Drive except two participants. I think Priyanka and Anthony, both of you have provided me your Yahoo ID. I request both of you, please provide me your Gmail ID in a chat box so I can assign you an access to this Google Drive. Okay, guys. So what I have done is I have created this Google Drive where I have uploaded all the data, like preliminary data I have uploaded. As and whenever we would be doing the session, I would be keep updating data here in the drive. So here you will find all the data, whichever data I would be showing you in the class. So this drive is there for the purpose of data sharing with all the participants. Okay. So what we are doing is we will be discussing each and every topic with the help of practical data only. I would be giving you the practical data, practical, examples, and we will be discussing our topic with the help of those data so that it would be easy for us to relate and understand the concept. Okay, guys. So now, when I would be explaining you each and every domain or each and every concept, what approach I am going to follow, let me just briefly, give the understanding of that approach as well. So, what I would be doing, guys, I would be starting discussion from the basic. For example, if I am explaining you the information security governance, for example, in our today's class, we would be discussing about information security governance. So first we will discuss the concept. Okay, what is the meaning of governance? Why governance is required? Correct? What are the things that basically you need to verify? So we will be starting our discussion with the very basic understanding of a concept. After that, what we would be doing is we would be understanding, okay, when we are going to audit this area, then in order to do the audit, what all data requirement you need to collect. So we would be discussing about that. Then once you understand, okay, this data requirement needs to be collected, I would be providing you the dummy data. So we will all analyze that data. We all will analyze the data, and then while analyzing, I would be giving you the tips. Okay, in this data you verify these items. While verifying this item, you please ensure that this things are there, this things are there. Generally these are the risk, because see, being an auditor, it is very important for you to understand the risk, understand the risk. So what we would be doing is we would be discussing about that risk as well, pretty much in a detail, also discussing about the standard controls which has to be there. And then accordingly we'll also discuss that what are the observations which generally you will find in that area. And then at the end, when our session will is about to end, then we'll also discuss about how to prepare our audit report, how to discuss that audit report with the auditee. So basically, this would be this entire session would be what? This entire session would be around entire audit in a real life, the way we are doing audit in a real life, the same approach we would be following here in the class, just to give you the idea that okay, this is how the audits are being carried out. Now, one more thing here, guys, whenever you are joining this session, okay, this session, I would request you to ensure, please try to log in from your laptop only. Now, why I am telling you to log in from the laptop? Because during this session, what will happen? I would be sharing you some dummy data like policy, procedure, Excel file, the evidences, images, and all those. And in between of the session, I would also ask you to analyze those data. That okay, today suppose we are be discussing about the governance, so I'll give you some data, and I'll ask you, now you please analyze the data and tell me what you have observed. I have given you the policy, so I'll ask you to read the policy and tell me about what are the things which are there in the policy. There would be certain workings which we needed to perform in the Excel. Okay, there would be certain workings which we need to be perform in the Excel. So I would suggest, please try to join this session from the laptop so that you can participate in the exercise, you can participate in the data analysis activity. Okay, so this is one request. Try to join the sessions from a laptop wherever possible so that you can do the analysis as and when we are discussing the topics in the class. Okay, guys. So this is the brief, background about our syllabus, what we would be doing, how we would be doing. And meanwhile, everyone, I think, have provided their quick introduction in a chat box. Okay. So as I can see, guys, couple of people are already working in the IT. Couple of people are in a financial audit, wants to move into the IT. A few peoples are there who are like working in the different IT domain, like an SOCs and some other, correct? So here, like most of candidate, like our main objective here is what? Our main objective here is to understand the IT audit domain to GRC domain, that how those things are being carried out in a real life, correct? So I am pretty sure that this objectives we will be definitely gonna achieve during this session. Okay. And perfect, noted. And yeah, perfect. Yeah, a couple of regulatory requirement, yes. Perfect. Great, guys. Great. Now, without wasting much of your time, let me just start our discussion, guys. I hope everyone have an access to Google Drive. Can you just give me a quick confirmation? If anyone who doesn't have an access, please let me know. Everyone have an access to a drive? Yeah. Perfect, everyone. Okay, maybe you can just give me confirmation like this. If anyone doesn't have an access to Drive, please let me know either in a chat or either in your WhatsApp group. Okay. Perfect, guys. Okay. I think a two participant might not have an access like Priyanka or JP because you guys have provided me your Yahoo ID. Please provide me your Gmail ID. Perfect, Priyanka. Yeah. I'll just assign you the access to a drive. Okay, great. And guys, this drive is accessible only through your registered email ID. If you try to access this link from the other ID, you will not be able to access. So you need to make sure that you are accessing a drive only with your registered email ID. Okay, perfect, guys. Now let me just start my discussion. Okay, so Uh, uh, yeah, JP, just provide me your Gmail ID. JP, I think you have provided me Yahoo ID. Yeah, JP, provide me your Gmail ID, please. Provide me your Gmail. Tomika, I think you already have an access. Just check whatever ID that you have provided during the registration. The access is being provided to that. JP, provide me your Gmail ID. I'll assign you the access. Okay. Perfect. Now, guys, let me just start my discussion. So before we start our discussion, okay, link of the drive, perfect. I'll paste that link here as well. Just give me a moment. Okay. So this is your drive link. I am pasting this particular link here in a chat also. Okay. Yeah. This is the link. I'll also paste this link in the group. Okay. Now, guys, yeah, let me just start my discussion, guys. So before we start our discussion, uh, let me just first discuss the very basic terminology, which is audit. Okay. We'll start our discussion with audit. Okay. So couple of people from this are already working in the audit domain. Okay. Can you tell me, guys, what do you understand from the term audit? What is an audit as per your understanding? Just tell me. Audit means what?
Audit is a systematic examination
Mm-hmm.
of the process, procedure, and technology,
Mm-hmm.
which includes the evidences which can
Mm-hmm.
ensure the confidentiality, integrity, and availability of the system.
Okay, great, Umesh. What about others? So, examination of any processes, okay, any control, any area to ensure whether that is being complied with my internal policy, procedure, or applicable regulatory requirement or not. That is what we are trying to achieve with the help of audit, guys. Audit is what? It is a systematic examination, evaluation, or review of any particular process, any particular area, any particular department to ensure that those process area and department are being complied with internal policy procedures, applicable regulatory requirement, or any other standards which are there, correct? So that is what we do as a part of audit. Now, suppose guys, we need to start the audit for an organization. Okay, so there is one organization. Let's take an example of TechEd company. So there is one company, guys, named with TechEd. Now, this particular company, what they want to do, guys, they want to prepare their audit plan or audit calendar. Okay. So basically, guys, what I'll do, like initial half an hour, I would just explaining you certain important terminology which you should know if you are working in the audit domain. Okay. So for that, I would be explaining you certain important terminologies. Those terminologies you should understand whenever you are working in the audit domain. So we will just discuss about that. So for example, guys, what happened, there is one company called a TechAid. Now this particular company, what they are doing is they want to prepare their audit plan or audit calendar. Basically, what is the meaning of audit plan or calendar? Audit plan or audit calendar is basically a document with the help of which they'll decide what all audit needs to be conducted in the upcoming financial year. For example, guys, my upcoming financial year is what? For example, April 25 to March 26. This is my upcoming financial year. Okay. Now, as a part of audit calendar activity, what this company would be doing, this company would be preparing a plan that let me decide what all audits I am gonna conduct in the next financial year. So for that, they need to prepare a audit calendar or plan. Now, how that audit calendar or audit plan is prepared, let me just explain you a step-by-step process. So there is one person, okay, in the internal audit department. That person is known as a head of internal auditor. So what head of internal audit would be doing, guys? Head of internal audit would be doing a kind of risk assessment. Okay, he will do a detailed risk assessment where he will identify, okay, in my company, what are the processes which are high risk, what are the areas where risk is more involved, which are new area, what are the regulatory compliance requirement applicable to my entity. So he would be doing a detailed risk assessment and he will be referring to one document which is called as a audit universe. Okay. Now, after doing the risk assessment and referring to the audit universe, what that person would be doing, that person would be proposing the audit plan. He will propose the audit plan. That plan will go to the audit committee. Okay. So, guys, audit committee is basically what it is, a group of people who is governing the entire audit function in the organization. It is called as a audit committee. So whatever plan that is proposed by the head of internal auditor, that plan will goes to which committee? It will go to the audit committee. Audit committee will review the same. Once audit committee reviews and approves, the same plan goes to the board of director. Board of director will also review and provide their approval. Once board of directors approves the same, the audit plan is issued as a issued to the respective HODs, where we are intimating to them that okay, in this financial year I am gonna conduct this 5 audit, this 6 audit. So this is how your audit calendar or audit plan is being prepared. This is a step by step process of the same. First, what will happen? Audit head will propose the audit plan based on the risk assessment, based on the audit universe. After that, what will happen? It is discussed in the audit committee. Then once the audit committee also discuss and approve, it goes to the board of director. Board of director will also provide their approval on the same, and then later it is issued as a audit announcement where respective department HODs are being intimated. Okay, so this is how your audit calendar or audit plan is prepared. Okay. Now, you might be thinking, you might be thinking that how this audit calendar or audit plan will look like. Correct? Correct. How this audit calendar or audit plan will look like. So what I'll do is I'll quickly showcase you one of the audit plan or audit calendar so that you get a better idea that how does this plan will look like. So for example, guys, this is my audit calendar. Good morning. I see you. Yeah. Perfect. So for example, guys, let me just showcase you. For example, this is my audit plan or audit calendar. Now, as you can see, what is being included here? Generally, this includes the name of audit, what all audit you are going to carry out, in which quarter you will be going to, in which quarter you will do that audit. So that is being included here in the audit calendar or audit planning document. It will just include this basic information, like what? Name of audit, and in which quarter you would be conducting that audit. So this is how your audit calendar or audit planning document will look like. Okay, guys. Now, HOIA and audit committees are from the same team. So, Adan, what happened here is, see, audit committee is group of people and head of internal auditor is a committee member, is a committee member. So, for example, in audit committee, if there are 10 people or if there are 5 people or 6 people, so this is just one member of that committee. Apart from this, there would be some other people as well. Okay.
Sachin, there is one question. So, who, where the CISO will be, will play the role here, like CISO and CTO, in this whole like audit committee or audit board of department, where they have their positions.
In audit committee or audit department, while preparing a plan and all, CISO and CTO generally doesn't have any role. Okay, their role will come into the strategy and steering committee. Here, they doesn't have a much control. Now, generally, what will happen? For example, this head of internal audit department, when he is doing a risk assessment, at that time, he may reach out to a CISO and CTO to understand. Okay, are there any area, specific area where you feel that risk is high? Do you want me to cover any of those area? So he may take an input from them, but generally, they are not a part of this committees, okay, audit committees or this planning preparation document. Okay,
Okay, no issues.
yeah,
Thank you.
clear. So this is clear, guys. First point, how the audit plan or calendars are being prepared. This is clear. Quarter time is same for all the company or it vary? Again, organization to organization, they may define monthly, quarterly. For example, here I have given you 2 example. Okay, that maybe you can plot that audit in the month, in a quarter, because generally this is a standard practice where the meetings are conducted quarterly. This is a globally standard practice. So and quarter time also, like in some company they are following April to March cycle, Jan to December, so it may differ. Okay,
Sir,
clear.
usually who are the members of this auditing committee?
So here what happens is, again, it will depend regulate on the respective regulatory requirement. For example, in India, if you will see, there is a Companies Act, correct? Companies Act 2013. Now, as per Companies Act 2013, they have provided certain requirement that who all can be the part of audit committee. They have defined that in the act itself. So there is one section 177 which talks about who all can be the member of audit committee. So what will happen? The respective regulatory requirement will specify. Okay, in audit committee, the person who should, one person like an independent director, one person for from the representations of the board of director. Likewise, there would be a specific requirements, and accordingly the committees are being formed as per that regulatory requirement. Okay, clear? This clear? Yeah.
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
Perfect. Head of internal audit clearance team, because the auditor, we don't conduct a risk assessment, only risk management team will do. I guess, correct me if I am wrong. That is not a this kind of risk assessment, Sairam. That risk assessment is an enterprise-wide risk assessment. Okay, the risk assessment which you are referring is a different risk assessment. The risk assessment which I am referring here from the auditor's perspective is which one? Where we are identifying the inherent risk, the control risk, and the detection risk in order to understand what are the risk areas which are there. The one which you are referring, that is a different, which we will be discussing in our upcoming classes as well. Okay, that process we'll discuss. Yeah, that is already shared, guys. So what happened is, let me just quickly give you an overview. So for example, here, whatever PPTs that I would be showing you, those PPTs are already uploaded here in the concept slide. So when you will open this particular concept slide, you will get all the PPTs, whatever I am showcasing you. Okay, all those PPTs are already there. Okay. So now first step is done, where what we have done is we have prepared our audit calendar. Okay. As a part of audit calendar, we have decided that what all audits we are going to carry out. This we have already done. Okay. Now, second step. Now, guys, once my audit calendar is ready, for example, this is my audit calendar, this is ready. Now, organization need to decide whether they want to do this audit internally or whether they want to appoint an external firm in order to do the audit, correct? External audit firm or consultant, because audit can be done by your internal audit department or it can be done by your external auditors as well. So now they need to decide what should we do, whether we go internal with the internal auditors or whether we should appoint an external auditors. So now here there are a couple of things based on which they'll decide whether to do audit internally or whether to appoint an external audit firm. Can you tell me, guys, what are the points generally that organization will consider while deciding on this part, whether to do it internally
Expertise.
or okay?
Then
First point
whether
is
we have expertise knowledge is available or not within
perfect,
the internet.
And there is a
perfect,
possibility that on
It
the
is a regulator requirement.
very good answer. Sometime it is
Regulator
like a
regulatory
regulatory requirement.
requirement to issue the external audit report.
Perfect, perfect, guys. So it will depend on this two factor majorly. Guys, when you're not speaking, just mute, okay? And when you're speaking, unmute. Perfect. So what happened, guys? Yeah, someone is mentioning about the cost as well. Sometime what will happen, although you have an expertise, but you doesn't have a time. For example, in my audit team, I am only have a team of 4 to 5 people. They are already occupied in my 20 audits. Correct? I still needs to do 10 more audit. Now I need to take the help of external resources because of the time constraint, because of lack of expertise. Sometime what will happen, guys? I have seen this that majority of time internal audit department doesn't have a appropriate expertise from the IT side. They the majority of time they prefer outsourcing their IT audit to an external firm. Why? Because they doesn't have an experience and expertise within the team. And sometime what will happen that it is a regulatory requirement where regulator will specifically ask you to appoint the external firm. Correct. So these are the points, guys, based on which you will decide whether to do that audit internally or whether to do the externally. Now,
Sachin, can
guys,
you help one small thing I want to understand? Can you help me with the regulatory requirement? Like in what all like, one example will be enough.
I'll tell you, Pramod. So what happened? For example, RBI is there. RBI is saying that you need to do the cybersecurity audit on a yearly basis. So that audit, cybersecurity audit, needs to be conducted by the external auditors only. Correct. That is written in the circular itself that I have issued this circular. This is applicable to all the banks, and as per the circular, now audit needs to be conducted by the external firm only. Internal team will not be able to conduct that audit. So that is a regulatory requirement. Suppose SEBI have issued a circular that you need to do system audit, and that audit should be carried out by the independent firm from an outside of the organization. So that is a regulatory requirement. Okay,
So,
clear?
are you saying that both RBI and SEBI both have this in their circular? Because I'm asking, like, if from the interview perspective,
Yes, definitely it is there, Pramod.
for
RBI,
both
like
RBI and SEBI.
both RBI, SEBI, IRDAI, okay, even for example, SOX compliance, Pramod, in case of a SOX also, there is a requirement that you need to appoint an external firm if your turnover is above certain limit. Okay, in
Okay.
SOX also it is there. PCI DSS, yes, you are right. In case of a PCI DSS also. So whenever this kind of assessments are happening, Pramod, regulatory assessment, generally they prefer to appoint an external auditor. Now, my next question, now since we are discussing, do you know, guys, why regulator will say that appoint an external firm rather
Yeah,
than doing it
maker
internally?
checker concept, like because
No
the same
independence.
company. If,
Yeah,
may,
main point here is what, Pramod?
and,
In independence.
okay.
Independence.
Correct? Independence. Now guys, someone will argue that internal audit department is also independent. Correct, guys? That is, see, that is a basic rule of audit. Even internal audit department will work independently. But why external auditor? Because external auditors are more independent. External auditors are more independent than the internal auditor. Hence, what will happen? Regulator will ask the external auditor's report and attestations from the external auditor. Okay, perfect. Now, next point. Next point. Just please, can you finish asking the question before we respond? Yeah, perfect. That is fine, guys. So whenever you are responding, we may follow one more practice, guys, where what you can do is you can either raise your hand. For example, suppose if I am asking some queries and doubt and all, maybe you can raise your hand and then maybe you can unmute and speak. Okay. Now, guys, what I was explaining you is I was explaining you this part where we were discussing that internal and external auditors, how those are being appointed. Okay. We were discussing. Now, my next point, let me just explain you one more terminology here, which is called as a 3LD. 3LD is what? This is also called as a three line of defense. Now, this is also very basic terminology, which you should know if you are working in the audit domain. So what is a three line of defense, guys? Three line of defense is basically a concept where what will happen that if there are certain risks in the organization, those risks can be identified at different levels. For example, the process owner or the person who are performing the task, they act as a first line of defense. So if there are any risk in the area, they are the first one who can identify the risk. So they are a first line of defense. The process owner or manager or staff, they are first line of defense. Second line of defense is like your risk team or compliance team who oversees the compliance requirement in a particular company, in a particular organization. So they act as a second line of defense. And third line of defense is your internal audit department who provides you the independent assurance. As I told you, even internal audit department is also independent. They provide you the independent assurance and they act as a third line of defense in the company. Now you might be thinking, what about external auditor? For example, if internal auditors are third line of defense, then what about external auditor where the external auditors are fitting? So external auditors are over and above three line of defense. They are over and above this three line of defense. If something which is not being identified by any third line of any three, like any of these three, those risks can be identified and can be reported by an external auditor. So external auditors and regulator auditors, sometime what will happen, guys, even the regulator may have a right to conduct an audit of your organization. Sometime what will happen, RBI will say, okay, someone from my team will come and do the audit. SEBI may say someone from my team will come and do the audit of your organization. So even there are regulators sometime who are coming in the competitor auditors, both are over and above three line of defense. So this is about three line of defense concept. I hope this is clear to everyone. Whatever we have discussed, any query, any doubt, let me know. We'll explain what is a case of TPRM, Adan. Okay, in case of an external auditor and TPRM is same. TPRM is altogether different. That we will be explaining you in the class, Adan, when we are discussing the topic. Okay, in case of a TPRM, what will happen? Company will appoint to do the audit of their vendor. So in your company, if you have a 20 vendor, correct? So you will appoint someone to do the audit of that vendor. That is a TPRM, correct? Correct. Or sometime what will happen if you have an internal capability, internal resources, maybe internal team can also go and do the audit. correct? So not necessary that every time you will appoint external auditor, even the internal audit team can also go and do the audit of the vendor. When you are doing the audit of the vendor, that is called as a TPRM. It can either be conducted by internal or external. Okay, guys, this is clear. Just give me quick confirmation. Is this clear to everyone?
Sachin, I have one question. Like in three-line defense, you mentioned that first is responsibility of process owner. He will check from his end. Secondly
Perfect.
is risk assessment. Like once he will done from his side, so risk assessment team responsibility to
Perfect.
just have a look, and after
Perfect.
that internal audit will work, right?
Perfect. Perfect. Absolutely right.
Okay.
Perfect.
Okay. Thank you.
Absolutely right. Yeah. Perfect.
Yeah, I have
Yeah,
one
Ram Mohan,
question.
please
Yeah, I
tell
have
me.
one question.
Yeah.
So when we deciding our risk assessment through the audit calendar, when we decided that some of the things we'll give it to the external audit due to the resource constraint or whatever the reason, so that
Mhm.
external auditor who are doing that our internal audit, whatever the calendar which we decided, those external auditors are called as above the thought level events.
Yes, because now they are
Hmm.
external arms of the internal
Got it.
audit team.
Got
External arms, so correct? So
it.
extended arms, so they will be like an internal auditor.
So they were equivalent to the external auditor who conducts the stat audit also. That is both are like
No,
comes under
no,
the same.
no,
That is
no, no,
again
no,
different.
no, no. Different only because see,
Okay.
statutory auditors like an having they are doing and certifying something, but when internal auditors are doing to complete their calendar, so they are like an extending arms of the internal audit department
So that's a
only.
separate wing itself.
Yeah, correct, correct, correct.
Understood.
Clear? Yeah, Anthony, please tell me. Anthony, please tell
I
me.
wanted to know before starting the audit. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
What
Mm-hmm.
are the like as you mentioned about the prerequisites like so as we seen in the audit like there is something we need to do the source of applicability or the gap analysis gap directly can't we can't go for the risk management, right? We need to
No, no,
identify the
we haven't yet discussed that topic,
acha.
Anthony. As of
Okay.
now, I am just discussing the key terms, very basic. Then I'll come
Acha.
to that part, how to
Okay.
start the audit. Okay.
I got
I have not
confused.
even,
So no,
yeah,
no, thank
I
you.
have not
Sorry.
even started. Yeah.
Sorry,
We'll
sorry.
come to
Yeah,
that. We'll come,
sure,
Anthony. No
sure, sir.
problem. Okay.
Thank you.
Perfect. Now, guys, let me just move ahead. Now, what we have done is we have understood that this is how the audit plan is prepared. This is how we will be appointing internal auditors, external auditors. Now, next point, how to appoint the
So
external. Yeah.
I'm audible. Yeah. So every year, like audit team will decide, like for this quarter, we'll do the assessment or auditing of this department. So based on the
I-
department, they used to do the auditing.
Initially, when we are preparing the audit calendar, at the time of preparing an audit calendar itself, it is decided what all audits we are going to conduct. Correct?
Okay, for
This we have
based on the
discussed
department. Okay.
based on
Yeah.
the department areas, whatever we are planning to cover. Okay, perfect.
Okay, got it.
Uh, is the audit conducted by Big Four certifications? Both are considered an external auditor firm certification. Yes, they are an external auditors only. Raful. Okay. They are external auditors only. Okay. Now, guys, my next point. Suppose if you want to appoint the external audit firm, then how to appoint the external audit firm? What is the step by step process of appointing the external firm? Okay, so let me explain you. So what happen is that, for example, if you want to appoint an external audit firm, so what will happen? First, you will roll out the RFP document. When I say RFP, RFP means what? Request for proposal. So in a request for proposal, you will write that why you want to appoint, what is the scope of work, you know, what is your need. So all that informations are there in the RFP. I'll show you that dummy document as well. After preparing the RFP, what we will do, we will float the RFP. Floating the RFP means what? Sending that to the person who can apply. So generally, what are the methods available with company to float the RFP? Sometime what will happen? Companies are uploading those RFPs on their website. Sometime they are sending an email. For example, if they only already have a list of shortlisted vendors or approved or authorized vendors, so sometime they'll email that RFPs. Sometime what will happen? They have created certain portals. On that portals, they'll upload the RFP. This is how what will happen. They will float the RFP to the open market. Then whosoever are the eligible firms, eligible companies, they will apply to the RFP. Okay, if they are eligible, then company would be doing the evaluation. For example, they have received a proposal from 20 company, so they would be doing an evaluation in terms of cost, in terms of quality, in terms of market reputation, in terms of how much time they'll do take to complete the audit. And then what will happen, they will select the one firm, whatever firm that they have selected, they will issue the purchase order to them. Okay. And after issuing the purchase order to them, the audit firm which is being appointed, that firm will issue the engagement letter. So now, guys, you should know this term. What is the meaning of engagement letter? So, engagement letter is basically a document which includes the roles, responsibility, authority, scope of external audit firm, that what external audit firms would be doing, what are their roles, what are their responsibilities, what are their authorities, what are their objectives. So all that details are included in the document called an engagement letter. Engagement letter will be issued by the auditors to whom you have appointed for doing the audit. Okay, so this is the step by step process. Now let me just show you certain documents so that you get better understanding what I am talking about. Okay. All these documents are already there in your drive. Okay. So maybe you can also open that document. Okay. Let me just first showcase you the document. Then Pramod, I'll, discuss your doubt. So for example, RFP document. Okay. This is how the RFP will look like. In the RFP document, what you will see date and time when this particular document was issued. Then what is the purpose, where you need to submit the bid, what is the last submission date, correct? Other certain clauses. Okay. Then there would be the scope, that what is the scope of this audit, what you need to cover, what are the locations you need to cover, eligibility criteria, very important, who can apply for the RFP, that is also being written here. Okay. And then what will happen, once you roll out the RFP, the firm will send their proposals, that okay, this is my proposal, I want to do this audit, this is my commercials, and also they'll send that commercials. And once those commercials are approved, the company will issue the purchase order. So in a purchase order, you will see the details that, okay, the audit have been assigned to you. Now you do this audit. So this is how this particular entire steps are being carried out. Okay. Yeah, please tell me, Praveen.
Pramod, I believe. Are you asking
Pramod.
to me? So yeah,
Yeah,
I
you
want to
have
understand that in engagement letter. So this MSA is a part of engagement letter, master service agreement.
master service agreement is a separate document. Engagement letter is a separate document. Sometime what will happen, as a part of EL itself, they'll add the clauses, other clauses like an NDA and
Yeah.
scope of services and all other thing, and make it a single document. But in general, engagement letter and SLA both are a separate document. Sometime what happen, you will see where companies are merging both the document and taking the respective approvals on the same before
So
starting the audit.
engagement letter, can you show us
Yeah,
like the difference between MSA and
I'll
this?
I'll show you, Prabhu. I'll show you. Okay.
Thank you.
Perfect, guys. This process is clear. How we are appointing the external audit. This is clear. Yeah. Perfect. Now let me just showcase you the engagement letter copy as well, so that you get a better understanding. And similarly, guys, there is one more document. There is one more document which is called as a audit charter. Audit charter. Have you heard about this document? Audit charter. Any one of you?
Yes, I believe when internally we initiate the audit without including this external party, in that case, we require this
Hmm.
audit charter.
Basically, guys, audit charter is an internal document. It is an internal document which will be governing the function, objective, scope, responsibilities of internal auditor. Internal auditor. Engagement letter will be governing the function of external auditor. Similarly, when the internal audit team is conducting the audit, so their function, their scope, their authority, responsibilities are governed through audit charter when we are talking about internal auditors. Okay. Now let me answer your query, Michelle. What you are saying is, who request for the RFD or RFP will be requested by the company who want to conduct an audit of their areas. For example, here we were discussing about this company TechEd, correct? TechEd wants to have prepared their audit calendar. They want to do this audit, 10 audit. So they will issue the RFP, correct? Who will issue the RFP? The company who wants to conduct an audit. They'll issue the RFP. And who will reply to the RFP? The consulting firm like a PwC, EY, other big four, or small side consulting firm. They will apply to the RFP. Okay. Michelle, clear? This clear, Michelle? Yeah. Perfect. Is there any portal to post the RFP? Yeah, Adan. So basically, again, for example, in India, if I talk about, there is a JAM portal which is being created by government organization where all the government companies RFPs are listed here on the portal. Like it is called as a JAM portal, government e-marketplace. So you need to create your account, and once you create the account, all the government companies RFP, you will get on that portal, and then accordingly you can apply. So there are certain portals as well. Okay, clear, guys. This is clear. Quick confirmation, please. Yeah. Perfect. Now let me move ahead. Now next part. So what we have done, guys, we have started our discussion with very basic thing. First, we have discussed what is an audit. Then we have discussed, what is the difference, how the audit calendar is prepared. After preparing the calendar, whether to do that audit internally, externally, that also we have discussed. After discussing this, we have discussed how to appoint an external firm. What is the difference between your engagement letter and audit charter? So let me just show you that two documents as well. See, guys, whatever documents that I am showing you, each of that documents are also will also be there in your Google Drive. So you can go through that document pretty much in a detail at a after the class as well. Whenever you get a time, you can go through that document. So for example, here, Pramod, see, this is how the engagement letters will be issued. So it will be issued to the company who are appointing you. For example, in this case, if TechEd is appointing you for conducting an audit. So you will be issuing this to the TechEd, that this is my engagement letter. This is for this services. Now in this, we will write what scope, what is our fees, what is our terms of the engagement, correct? What are the roles and responsibility and other clauses also. Nowadays, what is happening? We are adding these clauses as well. Okay. SLA format. I'll show you SLA format in our upcoming session when we will be discussing about the vendor management. So that is, for example, your engagement letter. And whereas internal audit charter, again, if you will see this document, this include what? Roles of responsibilities, authorities of internal audit department. Okay. How internal audit department will maintain their independence, how they will, what are their roles and responsibilities, what are the responsibilities of the management, how the plan is prepared, correct? Then quality assurance process. So even internal audit department will be having a QA process where whatever work that they have done, someone will be verifying the work, whether they have done the work as per the standards or not. So that is your audit charter. Okay. Clear, guys? This is clear. Whatever we have discussed, this is clear. Any query, any doubt, let me know. Perfect.
So in
Now,
internal audit, who will be the one who will be auditing the auditor's work, the quality?
so yeah. So here what happened as a part of quality assurance program, the audit committee will appoint and decide who would be doing the quality review of internal audit department. Obviously, that person will not be an head of internal auditor because he is one who is responsible for execution. So what will happen? Maybe they'll appoint some external party. They may appoint someone from an audit committee to take a responsibilities of doing the quality assurance. Okay. So that is how it is done. Clear?
Sure.
Clear? Perfect, guys. Now, next point. So we have discussed as of now, whatever I have explained you, that was very basic terminology. Now, what will happen? It will be with the court affidavit. Sometime there is a requirement, GP, that you need to, sign that. Execute that document on the affidavit. Sometime even the normal digital signature will also work, GP. Okay, so it is not a mandatory requirement. Sometime companies have their internal policy procedures and guideline where they will ask you for the execution of that document on a stamp paper of rupees 100, 500, or in some cases, even the digital signature will also work. Okay. Now, next point, guys. Now, what we will do is now we will start our audit. For example, what happened, guys? There was, again, let me just revise. There was one company, TechEd. That company wants to do, for example, their IT and GRC audit. So, for that purpose, what they have done, they have issued the RFP. After issuing the RFP, for example, our firm was selected. Our firm was selected, and we got that audit. Okay, we got that audit. Now we need to conduct that audit. Okay, we already have our audit scope. Now let me show you what is the audit that we needed to conduct. So guys, our audit scope is what? Our audit scope is this, which is our course content. Correct, the course content. Let me just open that. So this is your audit scope where you need to verify all these areas. Okay, so you know what is your audit scope. So we all are auditors basically. Okay, we all are auditors. We need to conduct this audit. Okay, we have discussed the background, and now we need to start our audit work. Now here our actual work will start. Actual audit work will start. Okay, so now again I want some input from you. Suppose you all are auditors and you need to conduct this audit. What? IT and GRC audit for TechEd company. Okay, and this is your detailed audit scope. Now when you are doing this audit, can you tell me what is your step by step approach that you would be following? Maybe on a higher level, you just give me the idea that how this audit will be carried out. Just share me your thought, please. How this audit will be initiated and how you would be doing that audit. Tell me.
First of all, how many team members going to do the audit and what time period we have to go to do?
Okay, team members, then your audit period you are talking about this. Okay. Then
Session
Hardeep is saying
planning.
that I
Then the system or
scope
process which we are going
planning.
to audit.
Okay, you will understand the system and process. What else? Just tell me your
We'll do
pointers.
gap
And
analysis.
then we will,
Hmm.
I'm sorry, I'm sorry.
One by one, one by. Yeah, please, Priyanka, tell me.
Then the system and process which we are going to audit, we will go for the walkthrough with the SME who is going to manage those system and process.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. What else? What else?
Any previous audit findings?
Okay, you will refer previous audit finding. What else?
So I
What
think
else?
before
Yeah, yeah, please tell me. Please tell me,
gap
Pramod.
analysis, I think you have missed here. Like after the year finding, we'll be doing those gap assessment and all as well.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Okay, what else? Umesh, please tell me. You have raised your
Yeah,
hand.
so audit will be in the three stages. First will be
Hmm.
the planning,
Can't do
second will
check.
be
Mm-hmm.
the execution field work, and
Mm-hmm.
third will be the reporting. So under the planning, we will identify the team scope, perform the gap analysis, do the test of design TOD. We will do have the walkthrough of the controls what we will have for the for what all regulatory or internal purpose we are defining. We will check what all available documents are there which was completed, the objective of the audit. Then in the execution phase we will do the control testing. We will collect the evidence. We will find the conformity and non-conformity. We will define it whether it is a major or minor, and based on that the mitigation plan will be developed. After that, reporting will be there where we will do the analysis with the team and decide what all details need to be shared with the auditee team, and the detailed report will be shared with them.
Perfect
So
explanation, Umesh. Yeah,
so
yeah.
in short, we'll be doing PDCA cycle here, plan, do, check, act, and
Hmm.
as per that we'll be completing the whole
Mhm,
thing, right?
mhm.
So if there is like last year finding, we'll be checking the exceptions and all details as well. If any exception is
Mhm.
expired, like whether and if there is exception that there is some control they are planning, whether they have implemented that controls and all. So those things as
Perfect,
well.
perfect, 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 perfect. Great. So, guys, yes, whenever we are doing the audit, so audit can be divided in these three major steps like a planning, fieldwork, and reporting. As a part of planning, we need to what we need to do, we need to see the previous year audit finding. We need to prepare our audit program document. We need to understand about the entity. We need to understand about their regulatory requirement. We need to do the walkthroughs of those areas. So let me just open one slide. And yeah, so for example, guys, when we are starting our audit, what we are doing is we are preparing an audit program document. In that, we will, identify what is the scope of the audit, who are the team member. We'll also refer to the previous year audit findings, and accordingly, we'll prepare the audit plan. Now, once your audit plans are being ready, guys, then after that, you will start the audit execution. As a part of audit execution, what will happen? You would be collecting the datas, collecting the evidences, analyzing the evidences, and understanding the justifications from the process owner. Suppose if there are any gaps, if evidences are not appropriate, we do discuss with them, and accordingly we start preparing our report. So now, guys, whatever we would be doing, in our class, we would be discussing all this entire domain. So entire domain discussion we would be doing from this approach only. First, we would be understanding what to do as a part of planning, what to do as a part of field work, and reporting at the end we will obviously discuss. So yes, this is the audit life cycle. Now what I'll do is, uh, yes, Adan, obviously we can ask the previous year audit. Now here what we will do, guys, we will just discuss how to do the audit planning. First, let me just explain you how to do the audit planning. So guys, whenever we are starting our audit, okay, first we are doing a kickoff meeting with the auditee. What we are doing? We are doing the kickoff meeting with the auditee. Now, as a part of kickoff meeting, what is our objective? Our objective is that we will be doing an introductions with the auditee. We will be explaining them what is our team. Okay, what is our audit scope? Let me just open one kickoff deck so that you get an idea that what is being covered in the kickoff. So, we would be explaining them that, boss, this is my team who would be conducting the audit. So, in our case, for example, we all are auditors. So, we'll explain them that, this is the audit senior. This will be the audit lead. This person will be having an overall responsibility of ensuring the audit executions as per the approved scope. So I'll introduce my team. I'll give them the idea about the scope. What is the scope? For example, in this case, this is my scope of audit. So I'll give the detailed understanding to auditee. These are the areas. These are the points which I would be covering in this scope. Okay. After that, this is very important. In the kickoff itself, you please discuss your entire audit plan. Boss, today I am doing the kickoff. Then I would be starting my walkthrough. You need to share me data. For data sharing, this is the timeline. I'll start my fieldwork this date. I'll end my fieldwork this date. I'll prepare my query tracker in between. You need to provide me responses by this date. Then I'll issue my draft report. Then I'll take your responses. And this is the date when I need to complete my audit. So you prepare that milestone and present it to the auditee. Okay, tell them this is my detailed audit plan and I need to complete this audit by this time frame only. Okay, and then you keep tracking those with the help of weekly meetings, maybe fortnightly meetings. You keep your track on the audit plan, whatever is completed. Explain the escalation metrics to them. This is an escalation matrix from your side. This is an escalation matrix from my side. When I'm asking the data, you need to share me this data by this date. Okay, this is your tats. These are my tat. Tat means what, guys? It is a turn around time. That means what? That means turn around time. So when I am asking you a data, you provide me the initial data in T+7. If I ask additional data, take this much time. System data, this much time. So likewise, I have defined a tat. If data is not being provided within this timeline, then you need to escalate first to the function head, second to the IAD. Likewise, there would be some escalation protocol which you can decide. And then you can also ask the company, do you have any self-identified issue? Sometime what will happen, guys? Sometime what will happen that auditee, when we have completed the audit, okay, after completion of audit, for example, you have given them four findings. Okay, so do you know what they'll argue? They'll argue that out of this four finding, three we were already aware. We have already taken actions against this finding, and this is already being noted during our review itself. So I would say that this is not being finded by the find out by the audit department. So generally, as a part of best practices, what we are doing is we are asking the auditee at the time of kickoff meeting itself, boss, if you have any findings, please disclose that finding to us as a part of self disclosure, that okay, these are the self disclosed finding which we are intimating to you as of now, so that even as an auditor also you will not waste much of your time and energy over that area or over that process, because you know that that is a self identified issue. So why to waste too much of time? So we take that self disclosures as well. Okay, and then this is how we prepare and present our kickoff meeting deck with the auditee as a part of audit planning. Then second point, before we discuss, yeah, Pramod, please tell me.
So you were sharing the stat, right, document something where you have mentioned T plus something. So what is T there?
T means today's date. T
Okay,
means
okay.
today. Yeah, today plus
Thank you.
7.
Thank you.
Now, guys, here, yeah, please tell me, Ram Mohan. Ramon, you have raised your hand. Not audible to me, Ram Mohan. Yeah, Umesh, please tell me.
Just a basic question, like we have two functions, GRC and auditor. So
Mhm.
what is the difference between them? Like who will be the GRC person and who will be the auditor? And what
GRC
is the
team, yeah,
practical
GRC team,
differences between them, like
GRC
the
team,
work?
GRC team basically comes under the second line of defense.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Generally, what happen as a part of risk management itself, company may form a GRC team who will be working as a second line of defense in the company. For example, we do you remember we have discussed about that line of concept? So
Yes, yes.
that GRC team is a part of second line. Sometime what will happen, Umesh, even companies are looking for GRC auditors. So if it is GRC auditor, then that means they are third line of defense. So if GRC team is working for risk team, then they are second line. If GRC team is like, from within the audit department, like there is a separate team who look after the GRC compliance, then this is a third line. Okay. So that is a differentiator in both this term. Okay.
So a GR, is that mean GRC will be implementing the controls rather than auditing the control or collecting the evidence? Their main responsibility will be implementing the control. Is it a correct?
Executions and monitoring, both, like they'll assist the process owner in the execution. See, basically what happened, Umesh, GRC is a term means what, like we will also discuss this: governance, risk, and compliance. GRC is what? This is the term: governance, risk, and compliance. Here what we are doing, as a part of governance, we will ensure that policy procedures for each and every area are defined, document, and followed. Correct. So here we will be focusing on the policy procedures part. As a part of governance, as a part of risk, what will happen? You will try to identify risk on a proactive basis in each of the area, whether that is change, whether that is incident, whether that is capacity, whether that is BCP, that is DR. In each and every area, as a part of risk management, we will be making sure risk is identified on a proactive basis rather than reactive. And as a part of compliance, we'll make sure that all the applicable regulatory compliance which are applicable to the company, those compliances are being adhered. So this is a term. Okay, this is a one GRC is a term. Now, as a part of this, what will happen? Company will look for some people who understand governance, who understand risk, and who understand the compliances. They'll appoint those persons. Okay, then they may assign their. Suppose if you are appointed as a GRC member in ABC and company, and your reporting is to risk team. Correct. So basically here your role would be what? Okay, guiding the process owner in the executions, monitoring them, their control, so that when auditor come, everything is complied. Correct. So that is how it works, Umesh. Okay.
Okay, okay. So is that mean like GRC people need to develop the policies and procedures so
Yes,
that it
they should have that skill of developing the policy procedures, reading the policy procedures, making sure policy procedures are compliant with the regulatory requirement. That is pretty much required.
okay, got it.
Yeah.
In the
Uh,
self-disclosure part,
yeah,
hello,
yeah. Please tell
can you
me.
hear me? Yeah, in the
Yeah.
self-disclosure, which you mentioned in the kickoff meeting, let's
Mm-hmm.
say if the auditee discloses some of the critical issues they already identified, or they're aware of
Mm-hmm.
that. So
Mm-hmm.
in the final reporting stage, do we still mention that, or like what are the exact thing we?
We generally highlight that as a self-disclosure issue only.
Okay,
That
understood.
we see, obviously it will be part of my audit report, but I'll also mention that it was a self-identified issue.
Got it. Thank
Okay, perfect. Now someone Sairam is saying IPE. IPE is information produced by an entity. Correct. IP is what? Information produced by the entity, like an audit evidences that they are providing. That is an IP. And we'll discuss what is a substantive testing in my upcoming slide. Okay. Okay. Perfect. Now, second, as a part of audit planning, one is this, guys. I have shown you a kickoff meeting. Then, second thing, what auditors are doing, and that is very important. Auditor need to prepare the RCM. Do you know what is an RCM, guys?
risk control matrix.
Yeah. It is called as a risk control metrics. Risk control metrics. So here what will happen as an auditor, first you need to prepare a document like an RCM where you would be specifying in each of these areas, what are the risk that you are looking, what are the controls that you are expecting, and how you would be validating that control. So that RCM document has to be prepared. This RCM document would be like an audit program for you. And this program document, guys, will help you to carry out your audit in a effective and efficient manner. Generally what happen, guys, sometime there is a requirement that if your RCMs are ready, then only you can start the audit. Because see, I'll show you that also how the RCM will look like. And during the class also, guys, we would be filling this RCM template. Let me just open that RCM. How does it look like? So for example, this is my risk control metrics. Okay. Now in the risk control metrics, what are the columns which are very common? Apart from that also there are a lot of other column, but I'm just explaining you the bare minimum and most important column in your RCM. So process name, what process you are covering, there's a process control, risk description. For example, when I am verifying information security policy and governance, in the information security policy governance, what are the risks, what are the controls that should be there, and what are the audit checkpoints which I would be performing during the audit. If you have documented that this detail, then what will happen, guys? There are very less chance that you miss something. Very less chance. This RCM will help you to carry out your audit in effective and efficient manner. And during the entire session, whenever I would be explaining you this domain, even after explaining that, I would be filling this RCM sheets for you, so that whatever discussion that we are doing, those discussion can be summarized in the RCM, and you can refer to that RCM when you are doing audit in your actual life or real life. So this is like a RCM document which we are preparing. as a part of planning itself. Okay. So this is also important. So this is how auditor would be doing the planning. After doing the planning, the next point is what? Field work. Now, as a part of field work, as a part of field work, here you can also add one more thing, guys. Like even auditors would be doing the walkthroughs. I'll show you templates of the walkthroughs as well, that how you need to do the walkthrough. What are the things, what are the controls you need to verify during the walkthrough? So first, let me discuss that. Meanwhile, I think someone have raised the hand. Pramod, tell me what is your query?
Yeah, hi Sachin. So this RCM document you're talking about, let's suppose it's an external auditor who is doing the audit, right? How he
Hmm.
know that like in this particular, let's suppose if I'm coming for a company to do the ISMS checks, ISO
Hmm.
27000. So there the SOAs will be treated as this RCM or what?
No, no. SO is a statement of applicability that will not be treated as an RCM. RCM is a document which includes risk, control, and audit checkpoints. These are the main column. Apart from that, you can also mention like the type of control, preventive, the nature of control manual, or what evidence you will collect. Then, other certain details. So, in case of an external auditor, what will happen, Pramod? Even the external auditor will come and do the walkthrough. After doing a walkthrough, he would be having an understanding that
You have
what is.
mentioned third step as walkthrough now. That is the reason I was confused here.
Pramod, let me just complete, please.
Okay,
Yeah.
sure,
So
sure.
what happened? He'll do the walkthrough. Based on that, he'll get an understanding of actual processes. Correct. Even before that, for example, if you ask me to do an audit of your company, in your company, you have given me this audit scope. Now, as an auditor, I know that in a risk assessment, risk management, this is the standard process which is there. First, company need to do the planning. Company need to do the risk assessment. They need to prepare the risk register. I know that your company is a bank. So I know the applicable regulatory requirement. As per that requirement, this control has to be there. Or for example, at the time of the RFP itself, your company has told me that we are ISO compliant. So I get an idea, okay, in this company, if ISO compliant, then this controls would be there. See, in order to prepare an RCM as an auditor, you should also have an understanding of the standard process which is being followed. Correct? Because what will happen, for example, there would in some cases there would be a scenario where it is a standard process but company is not following. For example, maintaining a risk register, very common process, but when you went for an audit, when you are doing a walkthrough, the company have mentioned that okay, I don't have a risk register. It doesn't mean that risk register will not form part of your RCM. It will form part. Maybe then you will write that as a non-confirmatory, that risk register is not documented, although it is a required, but they have not documented. So in order to prepare this RCM document, what is needed as an auditor, you should have an understanding of that particular process. You should have an understanding of that particular process. You should have an understanding of that company's regulatory requirement. What is applicable to them? Correct? What are the standards that they are following? If you have this detail, you can prepare your RCM document. Then when you are doing your walkthroughs, and even when you are doing the field work, at that time also you can do the modification in your RCM. See, RCM, you will prepare one level. After doing the field work also, there would be an upgradations, correct? You will also write confirmatory, non-confirmatory against the same. So then you can keep updating your RCM document based on whatever understanding that you are collecting during the audit. Clear?
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
So Sachin, I think if we get the scope from the ODT, most of the things are covered from that scope. And if I'm not wrong.
Yes, yes. From the scope itself, I'll prepare my RCM.
Mhm.
Correct. As I told you,
Suppose
once I have a scope, yeah.
suppose if the RCM is already prepared by the client, which is some of the
Then,
clients will be
yeah,
having,
you are
then we
right.
can refer that, right? We can refer that
We
and we can see whether it is what extent it is covered or what needs to be included according to the walkthrough or the process understanding
You
that
are
we can
absolutely
prepare
right.
internally.
You are absolutely right. Okay. And in majority of scenario, this particular thing will come when you are doing the SOX audit, Ram Mohan. For example, in case of a SOX audit, we are doing the ICFR, internal control over financial reporting. Here, what will happen? Company will internally prepare their RCM, correct? And those RCMs
Correct.
are prepared and approved. And then what will happen? The auditor will come and auditor will take those RCM and they'll start their review. Even in
Correct.
India, for example, when we are doing a statutory audit, as a part of statutory auditor need to comment on the ICFR. So here they'll refer to the internally prepared RCMs only. And if auditor feel that any control can be added, then they can suggest that controls to be added in the RCM. Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect, guys. Clear? Any other query, any other doubt? Yeah, please tell me, Kiki. You have raised your hand. Please tell me. You are on mute.
Sorry, can you hear me now? Can you
Yeah,
hear
I
me?
can hear. Yes, yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
so for the RCM, is it like it's
Mhm.
going to be like a meeting? Because I know as an auditor, you work in a team. So are you
Mhm.
coming together like in a meeting to discuss the RCM, or I'm going to prepare my own?
Yeah,
My
yeah.
team member is going to prepare their own, or how is it going to work? Or is it
Yeah.
just one RCM who come in at and when we come in a meeting, do we invite the control owners like the auditees and all of that? Do we
Mhm.
invite
Mhm.
them in the meeting, or
I
how does it work in real life?
Yeah, so what will happen, Kiki? Auditor will prepare that RCM on their own based on the understanding, correct? Then as in when he's doing a walkthroughs, as in when he's doing an interview or discussion, meetings with the stakeholder, he can present those and he can tell that boss, this is my expectations. This is what these are the controls that I'm going to verify. These are the evidences which I would be needed in order to verify these controls. So at that time, maybe you can show your data requirement and RCM to them, but it is being prepared by auditors itself independently. Okay. Okay. This is clear, Kiki.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Perfect. Now guys, walkthroughs. See, when you are doing a walkthroughs, at the time of walkthroughs also you need to ensure couple of things. Like what? When you are doing the walkthroughs, guys, try to gather try to gather process understanding very much in a detail from a start to end. Okay. And one more thing, when you're doing a walkthrough, when you're sending an invite that okay, I want to do the walkthroughs of this process, change management process, whatever the process, whatever the area, whatever the department, ask the client to share the SOP before before scheduling a walkthrough if it is possible. Okay, wherever possible, if they have any SOP, if they have any manual document, ask them to share before upfront so that you can read and you can understand the process. And one more thing, i- when you are doing a walkthroughs, guys, ask them to explain the process from 0 to 100, from 0 to 100, from very basic. Okay, tell me, if it is a change management, how change is initiated? After initiation, what is the next? What is the next? What all system you are using? What all applications you are using? Do you have any this diagram? Do you have any flow chart? Do you have this? So try to gather the entire understanding of that particular process during the walkthrough, and keep your questionnaires also ready. Keep your questions ready. For example, if it is a change management, okay, in a change management, your RCM, you have your RCM. In your RCM, you have a 10 controls. Okay, you have a 10 controls in your RCM with respect to the change management. So make sure that you are covering all the 10 controls. Okay, change initiation, change approval, cab approval, rollback plan, post implementation review, UAT testing, QAT testing, security testing, post implementation review. Ask them the entire controls. Okay, what you are doing, how you are doing. So whenever you are doing that walkthroughs, guys, one thing is what you should have a understanding of that area, that what is generally being carried out. Okay. And then what will happen, uh, uh, based on that discussion, one more important thing here, based on the discussion, guys, after completion of the walkthrough, what is important, prepare and share the minutes of meeting with the stakeholders. What you do, prepare and share the minutes of meeting with the respective stakeholder. Even I have provided you a format for MOM as well. So whenever you are doing those sessions, discussions, okay, so maybe you can refer to this template. What is the topic, date, time, who were the attendees, what points you have discussed, what are the target date, what are the responsibilities you have assigned against it, and likewise you can maintain the entire MOMs for whatever discussions that you are doing. Okay. So that is how the walkthroughs are being conducted. Okay. Now, yeah, please tell me, Tomika.
So is the SOP the manual? And if so, what does SOP stand for? I'm just trying to understand.
Yeah, SOP is basically standard operating procedures where everything would be written step by step. I'll also show you the SOP document in our upcoming classes where, whenever we would be discussing this, so we will see that document. It is a document basically. Is what? SOP or manual. This is what? This is a detailed document which includes the return process, how it is being carried out. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Now Hardeep is saying what is the difference between walkthrough and interview. So basically what will happen, interview is like a where someone is explaining you the process verbally. They are just talking. That is an interview. And walkthroughs is what, where they'll show you the entire process from a start to end. Suppose if it is an application walkthrough, he'll log in into the application. He'll show you that this is an application diagram and all. So walkthrough is, you can say that it would be a detailed one, and interview is like a basic discussions between auditor and auditee. Okay. So that is a differentiator. Okay, Hardeep. Please tell me, Sailila.
Yeah, Sachin, where do we perform a walkthrough and in which areas we perform that inquiry through questionnaire?
That is, as an auditor, your choice, Ailina. For example, if you feel that in this area, since there is not much risk involved, so maybe I can just do the inquiry. If you feel that you want a detailed understanding, then you can do the walkthrough. So that, as an auditor, you would be deciding based on your audit areas. So generally what happens, Ailila, inquiry is not considered as a strong audit evidence. If you are concluding anything based on an inquiry, it will not be considered as the strongest audit evidences or the more reliable audit evidences. So it is always suggested that you do either a walkthrough, collect the evidences, store the evidences, okay, rather than relying on the inquiries. Okay.
Okay. Uh, when we collect the process documents or the SOPs prior to the walkthrough call, when you
Mhm.
observe as an auditor that the policy document itself fails a control requirement, do we
Mhm.
still have to go through the walkthrough?
Yes, still, because sometime what will happen, that policy procedures are not properly defined and documented, but still the process is being implemented in the company. Correct? For example, change management. Although my document is weak, but in an actual ground, we are following the process. Okay. So, suppose if the policy processes are weak, still as an auditor, you need to go and you need to understand the implementation and effectiveness of that area that is required. Okay, clear?
Sorry,
This
Sachin, only one question based on this.
ju- just a
Like,
minute, just a minute, Hardik, just a minute. Sailila, this is clear?
Yeah, Sachin, thank you.
Perfect. Yeah, tell me, Hardik.
sorry, Sachin, one question like, if we have observed everything is going, change management process is completely going as per the flow, like they don't have any, but they don't have any document. So in this
Hmm.
case, we will do what we will do. It will be
We'll raise
fine,
a
or we
finding.
will take it.
Will
Mhm.
will be
Yeah.
raising a finding. Will raise an observation that although the process is being followed, still the SOP document was not prepared, not documented, not approved. So that would be raised as a finding. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
As an
Thank you.
auditor, we need to highlight that issue. Okay. Yeah, Jyoti, please tell me.
Sir, usually there are different tools available for like for change management. There's a tool for incidents
Yeah,
management and
yeah,
other
yeah,
tool.
yeah. There are
So
two.
you
Yeah.
usually when we are going through the workflows, we are going through the tool demonstration. So
Yeah.
is it that we have to go in detail every control that is available in the tool,
Yes, yes,
or we have to
definitely.
just stick to RCM? Like,
No,
what
no.
is the general?
We have to go into the tool, need to understand those controls pretty much in a detail. See, that is definitely we'll discuss. That is, we have the domain that is in our scope. So at that time, I'll explain you what to verify, how to verify. As of now, I am just giving you an understanding of walkthrough. The domain specific controls I'll definitely cover as and when I'll discuss that domain. Okay.
Okay.
SOP document needs to be approved anytime during the audit period. So generally there is a standard practice. Each the policy procedures documents are reviewed and approved on a yearly basis or as and when there are major changes. Okay.
Sachin, one last question. So, procedure and SOP documents are different.
Both are the same thing only. Okay. Either you may call it as a procedure document or either you may call it as a standard operating procedure.
Okay, thank you.
Interchangeable terminology.
Sure.
Okay. Perfect. Now, next point is field work. Now, as a part of field work, what will happen, guys? As a part of field work, auditor would be collecting the data. Okay. When auditors would be doing the field work, auditors, what will happen? Auditor would be collecting the data. Anthony, for each the domain, there would be policy procedures. Don't worry about it. That is, see, this is how we will make this class as a practical. As of now, even I have not started any domain. I am just giving you the overviews. Okay. You will get an idea how we are discussing. So, field work. As a part of field work, what will happen, guys? Now, auditor would be collecting the data. Okay. Auditor will start collecting the data. Now, how auditor will collect the data? So, for that, auditor will prepare the data requirement sheet. And even for a data requirement, I have provided you one format. Okay. Let me just showcase that format to you as well. What is the data requirement format? So for example, guys, this is my data requirement format. So if you will see this format will include certain details which you need to fill while collecting the data. What are the fields? Serial number, scope area. Okay. What data you will require in order to validate the control in this area? Spock. What is the meaning of Spock? Spock is a single point of contact. Spock is what? Spock is the single point of contact who would be helping you with that data. So, for example, if I am doing an audit, if I require an IS policy, okay, so I'll raise that requirement to the auditee, then auditee will say that, okay, this data requirement will be provided by Manish. So I'll write his name. Okay, this data will be provided by Manish. Data request date. So this is the date when you are requesting a data. Then the status of data, whether that data is received, partial received, pending, not available, whatever it is, applicable status, you can write here. Okay, if the data is received, they mark it as a received. If they have shared partial data, partial received. If data is not available, not available. If it is a new request, you have recently uh, asked for this data, then new request. Then due date. Do you remember in the kickoff meeting deck, I have shown you that if I am sharing a data, you need to provide me this data by T plus 7 days. So I'll write a due date here. This is the time when you need to provide me the data. This is the date when you will be receiving a data. For example, auditee have shared you this data on 7th May. So you can write that I have received data on 7th May. Now, what is the reason? Why I'm asking you to fill all this detail? Date of received, date of data request. What is the reason behind it? Guys, what will happen when you will do audit in a real life? You will face big challenge, very big challenge in getting the data. Auditee are very reluctant in sharing the data. sharing the relevant data, sharing data on a time. For example, if my audit timeline is 31st May 2025, audit will share me entire data set on 28th May. Correct? 28th May. Why? Why he is doing so that I get a less time to review. If I get a less time to review, then what will happen? There are chances I may not raise the point as an observation. Correct? So there would be a scenario where auditee would be doing a delay in terms of sharing a data. So now as an auditor, when you need to demonstrate, boss, this was not a delay from our side. This was a delay from an auditee side, and this is my sheet where I can present that details to the higher authority. I have requested this data on this date. They have provided me data on this date. So this is a delay from their side, not from my side. So if at the end someone is saying that why you are not able to complete audit on a time, so then we can show them this information. So that is why, guys, it is very important for you being an auditor to track all those things, when the data was requested, when the data was received, and this particular things you can track with the help of this sheet. So I prepared this format. Okay, you can use this format. Similarly, guys, there is a summary. Okay, for example, if your seniors or your manager asking you the status, what is the status of audit? So you can present that summary to them that during the audit, I have reviewed, I have asked for 7 artifacts. Out of 7, 3 are received. This much is partial received, this much is pending, this much is not available. So this summary sheet will be giving you the a summary of your audit. So anyone from an auditee side, an auditor side, if someone is asking the status, you can quickly present that status to them in order to give the proper overview of your audit status. So that is a summary sheet which you can refer here. So that is a format which you can use for the purpose of collecting the data. Clear? This is clear? Yeah, please tell me, Jyoti, you have raised your hand.
Sorry, sir, it was earlier. Just
Okay. So now here, Fanindra, what will happen? Suppose policy is weak, but implementation and execution is good. Obviously, we will be failing that control. That control will be failed because lack of policy. Okay. Now, how to close that control? We will recommend them to update the policy procedure with respect to the current procedures which they are following. If that document will be updated, then you can close that finding. Correct? Okay.
Yeah, thank you, Sachin.
Yeah. Perfect. This is clear. Now, after this requesting for an evidence, you will get the evidence. Now what will happen, guys? during the class during the class, I would be providing you those evidences. So first we would be asking the evidences. Okay, then I would be sharing you the evidences like policy, procedures, screenshot, evidence, whatever is needed. We all will analyze those evidences. We'll find the gaps, we'll find the observation in that, and then at the end we'll also discuss how to do the reporting. So that also we will discuss. Okay, so this is something which we will be going to discuss in our entire class itself from a start to end. So I have just given you the entire overview of this, how we would be doing. Okay. So, Praful, what will happen? I'll not share you all the document in a one go. As and when we'll discuss, those documents will be uploaded in your drive respectively. For example, today I want to discuss this 4 topic. I have uploaded this 4 topics document in your drive. Tomorrow, next class, I'll discuss few more domain. I'll upload those domain. After the class, I'll give you some, practical work. I'll upload that document. So those will be uploaded. Don't worry. Don't worry, Praful. It will be uploaded as and when we are discussing the topics. Clear? Clear, Praful? Yeah. Yeah, please tell me, Tomika.
Yeah, so the class is being recorded, correct? So that will also be in the drive?
Yes, even the
Okay.
recordings will also be there in a drive. So what will happen? Here, I'll create another folder with the name of class recording. So your class recorded sessions will be uploaded after the completion of the class. Okay, so this folder would be there, class recording. Here you'll find the recordings.
Okay,
Perfect.
thank you.
Now, guys, let me just start my practical work. So first, guys, we will be discussing about this domain, information security policy and governance. Okay, information security policy and governance. We will be discussing about this particular domain. Okay, so just give me a moment. Let me just close all the documents.
Yeah.
Mm.
Sachin, please share this Word file as well with us
Yeah, yeah.
in which you are explaining.
Yeah. So what will happen, Adan? So this is your drive now. In this drive, if you will see this agenda and class note. So here, all the Word documents, class 1 to class 10, this will be uploaded in the class note folder. Okay, so see, this is my structuring, guys. Let me just explain your structuring concept. In this, you will find all the PPT. Then data. Here, your dummy data with respect to that area, whatever we are discussing. Here, you'll find those dummy data. Audit template. Template. Here, you will find your IDR, RCMs, or whatever documents which you will require in your audit working. So that I'll upload here. And then agenda in the class note. So here you will find all the class notes Word document which I am writing the notes. Okay, so this is how the structuring has been created. Okay, now guys, let's discuss our first domain. See, sampling methodology I have not explained you as of now. I'll explain that as in when it is required. Okay, uh, let me just start this information security policy and governance. Now, before we discuss this topic, you tell me, guys, what is the difference between policy, procedure, okay, standard, or guideline? What is the difference between these terms? These terms, what is the difference? Tell me.
Policy is majorly internal thing, which how the organization wants to do certain activities, certain functions, how they should operate.
Hmm.
Procedure is about how do we actually the respective team is step by step they are performing that particular activity. Standard,
Hmm.
which is required by the regulatory or maybe the standard setting by the maybe the organization, senior management or something. Guideline is about how do we act in a particular situation when there we don't have any standard or something. What are the
Hmm.
guidelines at which you can act on overall level?
Hmm. Okay, okay. Let me explain you guys now. Perfect. So policies are what? Policies are the high level statement which will tell you the management intent, their expectations. Those are very high level statement. For example, I am saying all the users must follow the strong password complexity. Okay, whatever I have mentioned, that is what very high level statement. Correct. So that is a policy. Policy will be like a high level statement which will tell you the management intent, their expectations. That is a policy statements. Then procedure. Procedures are detailed step by step, a step by step thing that you need to follow in order to achieve the policy objective. So here, for example, suppose as a user, when you are joining the company, how the new passwords are communicated to the user. What is a step-by-step process? Okay, user will join, HR will create their ID. After creation of ID, will send that password either on their registered mobile number, registered email ID. Then after that, the person will log in. At the time of login, he need to change the password. If he forgot the password, this is the step-by-step process. He can reset the password. So in a procedure, we are writing that detailed process, to how to achieve policy objective, that is written in the procedure. Now standard are basically the rules, you know which company will be uh, adopting, which company will be following. Okay, so for example, in case of a password, we have a rule. Password should be 8 character. Password should include special characters, minimum password length this, maximum password is this, password complexity enable, storing password hash mechanism. So that is a set of rules which I have created. That is a standard. Guidelines are like the recommendations or best practices which will help me to execute the procedures, and also which will tell about best practices. Okay, don't write your password on your desk. Do not disclose your password. Do not share your password with your colleague. That is what? That is a guideline or recommendations which I have given to the users, correct? So this is how you can differentiate between these terms: policy, procedure, standards, and a guidelines. Okay, guys. Now, okay, again, this is what? This is just a concept which you should know, because sometime what will happen, people may ask you what is the difference between policy, procedures, how they are different from each other. Now, guys, when you are verifying this domain, then what are the controls that you need to verify? Let me just explain. For example, when you are verifying the governance mechanism in the company, this I am discussing from the IT perspective, correct? We are here to discuss IT and GRC, correct? So from IT perspective, how the governance mechanisms look like, what are the things that you need to review in information security policy? All of these things we will be discussing now. Okay. So what controls we need to discuss one by one? Let me just tell you. First thing. First, obviously, if I am checking information security policy, so I'll ask the company, can you please provide me your information security policy and procedures? So first thing, I'll make sure that this policy procedures are documented. Second thing, I need to ensure that all these policy procedures documents are approved, okay, are approved and reviewed on a regular basis. Now, what is an ideal frequency of reviewing any policy or procedure document? So ideal frequency is what, guys? Policy procedures has to be reviewed and approved at least at least annually, or as and when there is a major changes uh, we need to review and approve. Then third, we need to make sure that the version history or version control is being maintained into the policy procedure document. Version history control should includes the details like who have created the policy, who have reviewed the policy, who have approved the policy, what changes you have done into the policy. Those detail has to be captured in your version history as well. So these are the checks which I would be performing for IS policy related thing. Okay, I'll make sure that okay, this many checks are there for IS policies. Okay, now governance. Okay, governance. In a governance, what are the things that you need to verify? How to verify? Let's discuss about the same. So before we discuss the governance, okay, guys, do you know what is a meaning of governance? I think previously also I've explained you in a brief, but do you know what is the meaning of governance? Any one of you? Governance means what? Tell me.
Law, rules and
O-
regulation.
Okay. Okay. What about others? Governance means what? Governance means what?
Governance means it's nothing but just keep track of the things that everything is in place and everything is working as expected.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of monitoring.
Kind of monitoring. Okay. What about others? Yeah. What about others?
Um, ensuring that companies' objectives are met. Sir,
Objectives are met. Okay. Okay. What about others? Perfect. Let me just
It refers
showcase you
to
one thing.
rules and processes where it's done in the for the government sector.
Perfect. Perfect. Perfect, guys. So governance is all about setting the policy, rules, framework that will govern the company, that will help the company to achieve their business goals. As a part of governance, what will happen? We will ensure that at each the level, for example, in organization, people are working at a different level. We will ensure that all of those peoples are working towards same objective. Okay, same objective. They all are working in the right direction. Okay, we all are working towards achievement of the business objective. So as a part of governance, what we do, we create certain committees, we create certain group of people who would be doing an oversighting on the entire business. As a part of governance, we'll make sure that for each the key stakeholders, the roles, the responsibilities are pretty much defined, documented, and communicated to them. So that is what we do as a part of governance. Okay. But here you will say, Sachin, this is a theory. We all know theory. We are here to discuss practical. So what is a practical? So guys, from the practical's perspective in the IT governance, what will happen? Company will create certain committees like a strategy committee, strategy committee, okay, steering committee. So these are the two committees which will be generally there as a part of IT governance. Now, what this strategy committee or steering committee will be doing? Strategy committee is mainly responsible for providing a strategical directions about the IT initiatives, IT projects that we need to do. For example, in a company, we need to develop a new application. Okay, we need to implement EDR. We need to implement DLP. This process we were earlier doing manually. Now let's do it with the help of application. So all those strategical decisions will come from which committee? It will come from the strategy committee. Then you have a steering committee. Steering committee is someone who would be doing the oversighting related to the implementations of the projects which are being running in the company. Whatever IT related projects that is being running in the company. So those oversight, who will do the oversight, guys? That oversight will be performed by the steering committee. Steering committee is mainly responsible for oversighting those particular project. So as a part of IT governance, guys, basically you will find these two committees generally in the organizations who are working towards achievement of IT objective and making sure IT objectives are aligned with business objective. Now, as an auditor, what are the points that you need to verify in this two committee? That is very important, correct? So what are the points that you need to verify? One by one, let me explain you. First, you will be checking whether those committees are being formed or not. Formation of the committee. When you are verifying this formation of the committee, you need to make sure, guys, one thing. See, one thing you keep in your mind, whatever domain that we are discussing, you should aware about the respective regulatory requirement of that company, that entity, or that organization for which you are conducting the audit. You should know their regulatory requirement. Okay, as an auditor, you should know the respective applicable regulatory requirement for the entity which you are doing the audit. So here, when you are verifying the formation of the committee, for example, whether this committee is formed or not, you will make sure that these committees are being formed as per the regulatory requirement. If there are any regulatory requirement, then committee has to be formed as per that regulatory requirement. Now you may say, Sachin, can you show me some example how the regulators will say what are the committees needs to be formed? So I'll just show you one circular here. Okay, I'll just quickly show you how the companies are, sorry, how the regulators are mandating mandating them to prepare the committees. Okay, so let me just open a circular. Just give me a moment. Meanwhile, guys, are you aware about any of the circulars where the regulators are asking a company to form the committees like this? Are you aware about any of the circulars? Tell me, yes or no.
RBI 2023 IT GRC.
Yes, RBI circulars where there is a requirement of strategy committees and steering committees, correct? So, for example, I'll show you one circular of SEBI where they have. So, this is a RBI. Let me just check whether there is a requirement of strategy committee. Strategy. So, for example, here you can see this is an RBI circular. What it is saying that RE need to establish the steering committee. And they have also defined the composition who all can part of the committee. Representation from senior management, IT business. Okay. So they have defined that, okay, this can be the part of steering committee. Okay. What steering committee would be doing, their roles and responsibilities are defined here. This is a which circular? Let me just say. This is an RBI circular, correct? So now here what will happen? You will make sure committees are formed as per the regulatory requirement. You also verify the members of the committee. Who all are the members? Whether that members are aligned again with the regulatory requirement or not. Regulatory requirement or not. For example, here, can you see here? They have mentioned that strategy committee needs to be formed. Who all can be the member? RE shall establish the board level IT strategy committee, minimum 3 directors as a member. Out of 3, one should have an experience and expertise in managing the technology initiative, because IT strategy committee is all about providing a strategical direction. So there has to be some person who understands the technology. So you will verify committees are formed, the members who are a part of the committee, whether those are aligned with the regulatory requirement. Point number 3, also ensure whether the roles and responsibilities of these committees are defined, are documented, and whether that is communicated to them or not. I'll check that. Point number 4. I will make sure whether these committees are conducting meeting on a regular basis or not. Sometime what will happen, guys, even the regulator will also prescribed what is the frequency of their meeting. They have written, boss, committee has to conduct meeting at least on a quarterly basis. So I'll make sure meeting is conducted regular as per the regulatory requirement. After meeting, what will happen? They will prepare minutes of meeting. I have told you, when you are doing a walkthrough, you prepare your MOM. Why MOMs are required? Because MOM will help you to document your discussion in a formal manner. In a formal manner, whatever you have discussed, so that will be formalized by the MOM. So you need to document that MOM. So you will make sure MOMs are documented. Then what will happen, guys? After the meeting, those MOMs are circulated to all the members. Those are circulated to all the members. So you will make sure that it is being circulated to all the members. So these are the points which you need to verify while reviewing the governance mechanism in the company. IT governance mechanism, you will check, okay, these committees are there, who are the member of the committee, whether their roles and responsibilities are defined, whether they are doing a meeting on a regular basis, after meeting MOMs are prepared, and whether those MOMs are circulated or not. Clear? This is clear, guys. Yeah, please tell me, Pramod.
So this, like the bomb which you mentioned as circulated, so all the active members who participated in that meeting, to them these moms should be circulated, or how, like all the members which is included in the that
All the
we have to.
members which are there in the committee, it has to be circulated to them, whether they have participated or not, it doesn't matter. If in committee there are 10 members, then this will be circulated to all the 10 members. And there is one more terminology which is called as a quorum. I'll explain you what is this term quorum. Okay. So yeah. Yeah, Praful, please tell me.
Hi Sachin. So what do we need to check in the second point? Can you please explain that?
Members aligned with the regulatory
Yes,
requirement. Yeah.
yes, that
So
one.
so basically here what will happen, Praful? You need to ensure, for example, in strategy committee there are three member. Okay, three member. So what will you check? Who are those three members? For example, whether he is MD, whether he is CISO, whether he is expert, what what designation, what qualification he has. Because sometime what will happen, regulator will say, for example, here what regulator have written, at least there has to be a two director, correct? And one member should have a substantial expertise in managing the technical initiative. Sorry. So here what will happen, Praful? You need to make sure if regulators are saying that your member should have a this qualification, your member should have a this expertise. So you will make sure that those members who are there, they are satisfying the regulatory requirement. Whatever is written in the regulatory requirement, they are satisfying the same. That is what you will ensure here. Okay. Like number of people, their qualification, their expertise, that alignment you will do. Clear, Praful?
Yeah, clear. Thank you.
Perfect. Now, guys, please tell me, Kiki. Please tell me.
Okay, so I have a question. So if, for example, I'm working in maybe second line as GRC analyst and I'm doing the governance aspects, these are what I'll be checking as well, or is it going to be
Yes.
different?
No, it will be same.
Okay.
It will be the same. Okay. Whether you are working second line, third line. Because see what I'm explaining you the controls and their verifications process. So whether you are second line, third line, internal auditor, external auditors. Guys, when you're not speaking, please mute yourself. Request. Ram Mohan, you are please mute. Yeah. So what will happen, Kiki? That will be same. Okay, whether you are GRC consultant or auditor. Now, guys, again, here what happened? I have just explained you a theory. We will be doing all this stuff with the help of dummy data as well. Okay. First, we have discussed the concept. Now, what we will be doing? We will be doing this particular thing with the help of dummy data. Okay, guys. So what I would be doing, let me just open certain documents. You can also open those documents. Those documents are there on your drive itself. So let me just close this and then let me open one by one a document. So for example, guys, first, what we have discussed that as an auditor, if we want to review any area, first what we need to do, we need to prepare our data requirement. Okay. So where is my data requirement? Yeah, this is my data requirement and this is my RCM. So let me bring. Perfect. So guys, audit. We are starting an audit of which area? Information security, policy and governance. Perfect. We are starting an audit of this area. So I'll mention scope area as what? Information security, policy and governance. Perfect. As a part of this area, I need to ask some data with the auditee. What are the data that I need to ask? So for example, I would be asking, boss, can you please provide me the information security policy procedures? They'll say, okay. Then apart from that, I'll ask them what? I'll ask them the evidence of formation of IT strategy committee. Okay, with respect to the governance, I am asking this evidence. Okay, provide me the evidences of formation of IT strategy committee, that you have formed this particular committee along with the members, that who all are the members in this committee. Then you will say, okay, provide me the roles and responsibilities of the IT strategy committee. See, guys, I am doing audit end to end. So whatever is needed for an audit that we are requesting here, then provide me the MOM. MOM is what? Minutes of meeting of IT strategy committee for the audit period. Okay. Then apart from that, what I need? Okay. Evidence perspective, I would be needing this things only. Okay. I would be needing this thing. What is your email ID, JP? I think you have provided me your email. Let me just see. You just type your Gmail ID, na JP. I've told you. Provide me your Gmail ID. Okay. So let me just assign you the access. Perfect. Now access has been assigned to you, JP. You will get a link. Okay. Now, yeah, where were we? So this is what, this is my data requirement, guys. Okay. Data requirement, where what we have done, we have listed down that, okay, I'll require this data. Now what will happen? Who will provide you this data? I'll provide you this data. So this data is already there in your drive. So we all will go to our respective drive. Okay. So guys, you please go there. So whenever I am saying go to the data, open folder number 2. Please listen this instruction very carefully, guys. Again, okay, sometime what will happen? People will ask a path, Sachin, what is a path? What is a path? See, path is very simple. The structuring is very simple. Whenever I am saying go to the data, that means you open folder number 2. In the folder number 2, you will find the respective domains which we are discussing. If I am discussing information security policy governance, entire data set will be here itself. Okay. So first, you have asked for information security policy and procedures. I have provided you that policy and procedure document. So you can open that. Okay. So when you are opening, you will ensure, okay, policy procedure is there. This is my policy procedures. Then version history, Sachin has told me whenever you are verifying any policy procedure, make sure that the version history is there. Version history is there. Okay, yes, it is there. Then whether version history is including all the detail, who have reviewed, who have approved, when that it is reviewed, whether it is reviewed annually or not. For example, here I am doing this audit. For example, what audit period we are assuming as of now? We are assuming audit period, for example, 2024 to 2025. Correct. What is your audit period? Audit period is April 24 to March 25. This is your audit period. So whether the policy was reviewed in the audit period, okay, in version history, I can see the policy is approved. Now my next question to you. My next question to you. Suppose when you are reviewing any policy procedure, in the version history, it is written that this policy was reviewed and approved by this person and finally authorized by this person. So whether that version history is enough for you to conclude that the policy was reviewed, or will you ask some additional evidence as well? Tell me. Will you ask some additional evidences, or this is enough for you to conclude that policy was appropriately reviewed and approved?
We'll
Okay,
ask for the
what
evidence for the
Ask
approval.
for
Approval of the email where the policies were approved, or if it is
very good
the
answer. Very
if
good
the
answer.
company is maintaining any system where the policies will be uploaded, where the review and approval will be signed, there we can clearly see that that is also acceptable.
Very good
Both the things.
answer. So what will happen, guys? We will ask the evidence of approval of information security policy and procedure. Now, that evidence can be obtained using multiple method. So approval can be obtained multiple method. Either it could be email based approval. Sometime what will happen, guys, approvals are taken on an email. Ramohan is saying sometime what will happen, guys, there is a platform, like have you heard about Confluence? Like there is this one platform called as a conf confluence,
Yes.
like yeah, here what will happen, guys, they will be uploading all their policies and procedures. Okay, and here you will find the reviewer and approver detail who have reviewed and approved. Sometime what will happen, guys, policy procedures are reviewed by the board of directors, so you will find the reference of approval in the minutes of meeting. For example, here who have reviewed my policy, I can see that final authorizations has came from the board of director. So here what will happen, guys, I'll check the minutes of meeting of the board of director. I'll make sure that if it is written 18th April 2024, whether the same has been reviewed in the board of directors meeting in the month of April or not. See, merely writing that date here in the SOP will not serve as an evidence for you that it is reviewed and approved. You require a proper evidence. Either it could be email, either it could be Confluence, either it could be BOD. Sometime this is very old practice now. Previously, what was happening in some cases, they were also taking the physical signature or maybe a digital signature to demonstrate that the approval was taken. Very rarely I have seen now this practice, but yeah, this is how the approval can be taken, and we needed to ensure that the appropriate evidences are there with regard to the approval of the policy procedure. Clear?
So physical signature on the policy procedures is acceptable. We can say that it has been approved.
Yeah,
We can
except if
consider.
it, yeah, we can consider, because see, we cannot deny it, because this is also one practice, because you want some evidence with respect that he has reviewed. So they may do the signature as well. Okay.
Uh,
This is clear?
one more thing I
Yeah.
wanted to check. If some policies, I have observed that they remove one of the member, like if there is CIO, CTO, and CISO, so
Mhm.
one of them is removed and another department is allocated for reviewing the procedures. So that is also mentioned. So can you
So,
elaborate on this?
sorry, Jyoti, come again, come again.
Uh, so during some procedure review, I
Mhm.
checked that CIO was removed from the review process and only
Ha.
CTO and CISO was given the in charge for reviewing the procedures and
Mhm.
processes.
Mhm.
So if this removing procedure of the
Mhm.
CIO, what all things
Mhm.
we have to verify and why this come into picture? That is my
Yeah. So, for example, here again, the regulatory requirement will come into the picture. Sometime what will happen, even the regulator will specify who have a right to review the policies and procedure. If they are saying that it has to be reviewed by the board of director, then what will happen, board of director will take a responsibilities of reviewing. Sometime if they'll say that senior management like a CIO CTO can review, then they can review. Sometime what will happen, they are delegating the approval authority to some departmental heads or process owners and all, so those delegations can also be there. So we can check, like if there is a delegation, then uh, as per the delegation, whether the necessary approvals were taken or not, Jyoti. Okay.
okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Hmm. Now, guys, point number one is clear. I think we have discussed what you need to verify in the policy procedure high level. Correct. This is being done now. Obviously, all these areas are there in our scope. So as in when we discuss backup, patch capacity, this, that, BYOD, I'll explain you that with the respective domain. As in when we are discussing that domain, we'll definitely discuss about that. Okay. Now, point number two. Point number two is what? We were discussing about the formation of this committees, members, alignment, roles, responsibilities, meeting, correct? So now what data we need to ask with respect to this, we have already written that in our IDR, that I want this evidence of formation of the committee. I want the MOM of the committee and roles and responsibilities. So for that, what I have done is I have provided you another document which is called as an which is called as an organization structure. So can you open that organization structure in your respective PC? Just open that document. Org structure. Org structure. Okay. And just review it for a quick 2 minutes. Just have a glance on this document, what is included here, and tell me whether things are being defined for IT strategy and steering committee or not. Perfect, it is there. Anthony is saying it is there. For example, guys, when you'll go to the end, go to the end, okay. When you'll go to the end, guys, what will happen at the end? You will see this strategy and steering committee. They have defined what? They have defined the composition of the committee. They have defined the roles and responsibilities of the committee, and they have defined the meeting procedures. Correct? So they have written that, okay, the committee should meet half yearly. The quorum has to be there. Quorum is written as a 3. Now, what is the meaning of quorum? Quorum means what? Quorum is the minimum number of people that is required to start the discussion and to start the meeting and take any decision. For example, guys, in our class, for example, there are 38 persons. Okay. At the start of the class itself, I've decided that if at least 5 member will join the session, then only I'll start the session. So this 5 is what? This 5 is quorum for me. Quorum, minimum number of person that is required to take a decision. So for example, in case of committees, what will happen? You have mentioned that this 6 member will be the part of the committee. So out of this 6 member, if 3 are presented, then only you will be able to start that meeting, take the decision. So that is what the quorum is. Okay. Similarly, steering committee, they have defined the compositions and everything. Okay. So here what will happen, Sairam, you don't have an access to download certain documents which are like a confidential for us. Okay. What will happen here? We need to maintain confidentialities of our document. We need to protect our document. We need to protect our copyrights on this same. For that, what we do is we provide the view access so that content cannot be replicated easily. I'll tell you guys, when I started this IT GRC, based on this course, there are a lot of courses nowadays in the market who are claiming that they are providing the practical training. Correct. So what will happen, guys, if I'll give you the download access, those documents would be easily shared, and sometime what will happen, the course would be replicated. So just to maintain those things, guys, I have ensured that this document is available only to you guys. Okay. I want to protect. See, it takes a lot of effort, to prepare and to present those documents which can give you the real life insight. That is, guys, near to real life examples, real life scenario. It took a lot of time and we needed to protect that. So that is the reason we have given you the access. But wherever you require any document for an audit, for example, For example, your IDR, your RCM, the other formats which you needed in a real life scenario for the execution of audit. For that document, I have provided you the download access, correct? So that you can use those documents. You can, when you are doing the audit, you can take a reference of those documents. For that, you have a download access. Okay. So that is the thing. Now, guys, yeah, what I was explaining you is that from the organization structure, obviously you got an understanding that okay, the roles, responsibility, the compositions, everything's are defined. Now, next step, you have also requested for the minutes of meeting for strategy committee, and same requirement will come for the steering committee as well. For example, this three requirement you have requested for strategy committee, you would be requesting the same requirement for the steering committee as well. Steering committee as well. So let me just write that as well. That I want a rules and responsibilities of steering committee. I want the minutes of meeting of the steering committee, and I also wants the formation evidence for this particular committee as well. Now you have a minutes of meeting. You already have a minutes of meeting. So just open this folder, go to the this folder, and then there are an evidences. Then open the minutes of meeting, for example, for strategy committee. Okay, just open that. Yeah, please tell me, Hardeep.
Yeah, I think it will be covered in next step. Like I would like to see the approval evidence, but I think it will be in the next step, right?
Yes, yes, you're right. You're
Okay,
right.
sorry.
Now, guys, just try to open this document. Just try to open this document.
Can you please show once more which document?
Yeah. So what will happen in the evidence? You have this, minutes of meeting. Like these are the evidence folder, strategy, steering, board of directors. So just open a strategy committee minutes of meeting. Okay. Here I think someone have joined with the name of MD. Guys, whenever you are joining, please try to ensure that you are joining with your registered name, because our team is also have logged in simultaneously. So if they find some name which is not there in the registered, they may remove you from the meeting. Can you tell me who is this DM? So please ensure that you are joining from your name. That is required even for generating a CP certificate. Also to ensure that registered participants are there. Can you tell me, guys, who is this DM? You can unmute and speak. Please ensure that you are joining from your name only. Okay. Yeah. Meanwhile, guys, just open the MOM. Just open the MOM.
Yeah, hi Sachin, I'm Deepak Mandirata. I will just change the name.
Yeah, please, Deepak. Uh, please, guys, have you seen this MOM? So, for example, let me just open the MOM and let's discuss that what are the things that we needed to verify in the MOM. Okay. So this is the MOM for my strategy committee. So guys, MOM, whenever you are verifying the MOM, in the MOM, can you tell me what are the things that you will verify now based on our whatever discussion till now? Can you help me to understand what are the things that you will verify here?
I
Whether the
Date,
team has been
participants,
Date the
formed.
meeting was held,
updates.
attendees.
Mhm.
attendees and date, and it
For
covers
decisions.
happened during the audit period or not.
Perfect, perfect, perfect. So you have told me certain pointers like you will verify the dates, you will verify what are the attendees, you will also try to see what discussions they have done during the meeting. Perfect. So you will verify all those things. Now, with the help of date, what is your objective? Your objective here is to ensure whether the meeting is being conducted as per the defined frequency or not. So, for example, they are saying that the steering committee will meet on a quarterly basis. So you need to ensure whether they are meeting on a quarterly basis or not. For that, you are verifying a dates now. What you do, guys, you prepare your one work paper. Now you will say, Sachin, how to prepare a work paper? Let me just give you one example of preparing a work paper. Okay. So what we are doing, guys, we are creating here one work paper for strategy committee meetings. Let me just, yeah. So I am just writing a heading here, work paper. Okay. Just give me a moment. Let me just stop share. Just give me a moment. Meanwhile, guys, you just go through all these MOM. Just go through the all the MOM. Okay. Just go through the MOMs. Perfect. Let me share my screen now. Now. Guys, I am preparing a work paper for steering committee. So in work paper, what will I write? I'll write first members. Members. Okay. Then here I'll write as per regulatory requirement. What regulator is telling me about the members. Okay. So, that you can just copy paste whatever audit you are doing. Based on that, if there is a regulatory requirement, whatever they are telling you that this should be the part of the committee. Okay. So that requirement you can fetch here. You can just copy paste. So for example, what you will do. So guys, do you know why these work papers are required? This is required so that if tomorrow someone is telling you that, okay, tell me what you have verified, how you have verified, so you can demonstrate your work paper to them. Let me just open. So for example, here for a strategy committee, what was my regulatory requirements stating? This was stating that this is what the regulatory requirement, that there has to be this many board member, and they should have this kind of qualification. So I have written that here. Okay. Now, as per actual, actually, who all are the member in the strategy committee? So that I may get to know from their policy procedure document. In their policy procedure document, it is written that who all are the member in the strategy committee. So they are the member. Okay. So I'll make sure that it is aligning. Okay. I'll make sure that it is aligning. So I'll ask that, okay, minimum requirement is three. Okay, three members are there. Who have a technical expertise? I'll ask that who have a technical expertise. They'll say that, okay, CISO has that expertise. This is fine. Then quorum. Quorum, whether they have written anything from for the quorum in the regulatory requirement, you just see. Okay, read the regulatory requirement, quorum, they have written anything. If it is written, then you can write. Then frequency. Frequency of the meeting. Frequency of the meeting. As per the regulatory requirement, it was written quarterly. Whether they are doing quarterly, yes, they are doing the quarterly. Okay, so both are aligned. Okay, now MOM summary. You prepare that MOM summary, very important. Okay, as a part of MOM summary, what will you write? You will write this details here, dates when the meeting was conducted. For example, I have an MOM for a strategy committee. So my first meeting when it was conducted, let me just showcase that. My first meeting was conducted April 4, 2024. Okay, April 4, 2024. When my second meeting was conducted, tell me. Second meeting when it was conducted. Just open the MOM and tell me the dates.
July 4th.
July 4th is 4th July 2024. And when the third was conducted?
October 4th.
October, 4th October, 4th October 24. And when the fifth was conducted?
6th January.
6th January 25, no? Correct? So you have
Correct.
written the MOM. For example, from MOM, if you want to write any remarks, key discussion that they have done, you can write that particular remarks here. So likewise, what you need to do, guys, you prepare your work paper and then you save that work paper, respective work papers. Okay. And then if tomorrow someone is telling you that what you have verified in this meeting, how you have verified, what are the details that you have checked whether it was aligned, so you need not to open all the things again and again. You can demonstrate your audit checks with the help of this summary, that boss, see, this is my work paper. You can see regulator was saying this, regulator was saying, for example, roles and responsibility. You can also write that roles and responsibility, whether regulator have mentioned anything, okay, and whether the roles and responsibilities are aligned actually as per this or not, correct. So you can prepare this work paper. I have prepared this for a strategy committee. Now what you need to do is you need to prepare a similar MOM summary for a steering committee. Now I'll ensure that, okay, the meeting was conducted on a quarterly basis, correct. What they have written, that meeting has to be conducted quarterly. So now if someone is asking me, I can demonstrate that compliance, that yes, it was conducted quarterly. Okay. Yes, Michelle, will just give you a break after this discussion. So this is how you need to prepare now MOM summary for a steering committee as well. Now, apart from this, what else you needed to verify in the MOM? You also verify the quorum was there, correct? With the help of attendees list, you can conclude that the quorum was there. And apart from that, what you can do, you can also read their discussions, what they have discussed. Okay, so that also you can verify. And then one more thing. Generally, like this is a standard practice. After the end of the meeting, the MOMs are prepared by the company secretary team. Then chairperson will approve those meeting MOM. Okay, so you can check whether the chairperson authorization is there or not. Sometime in the MOM itself, it will be written, and then it will be circulated to all the members. So then you will be asking them, can you tell me how you have circulated this MOM to all the members? What is the process of circulating the MOM for to all the members? They'll say that we are doing an email to them, or we are sending this physical copy, or we are uploading this MOM at this portal where all the members have an access. Likewise, you can ask them that what is the process of circulation. So that can also be checked with the help of the MOM. Okay, so these are the points which you needed to verify, and this is how you need to verify. Okay, please tell me, guys. Yeah, Jyoti.
Yeah, sir, you talked about work paper.
Your
I
voice is
want
very low, Jyoti, very low.
uh, now I'm audible, sir.
uh, Low, but yeah, manageable. Tell me.
Yeah, I wanted to check if work paper is it needed to be submitted to the regulatory entities for which we are doing the audit, or
if
is it
if
that maintained with us only?
if regulators are asking, then you need to submit. For
No, no,
example, there
not
are certain
regulators,
require.
sir.
Yeah.
The entities for which we are doing, maybe some bank
Okay,
or some.
okay, okay. Entities, generally, entity asks for the work paper if you are doing the internal audit for them. Then they ask for the work paper. If it is an external auditors, you are like an external auditors, then there is no requirement to submit. Okay, because that is a property of auditor, and we are keeping that for the purpose of demonstrating a compliance tomorrow. If any regulator will come and question us what you have verified, how you have verified, then we can demonstrate that compliance to the regulator. So that is a property of auditor. Okay, not no need to share that with the entity.
Okay, sir. Okay. Thank you.
Clear, everyone? This is clear to everyone. Any other query, any other doubt? I think now you got an idea that why it is a practical, everyone, correct? And one more thing is still remaining. See, now what we will do, guys, whatever we have discussed till now, we will put all that discussion where we will put all that discussion in the RCM. Okay, so that RCM we will fill. All this we'll do after the break. Can we take a break now? Can we take a break?
Okay.
Yeah,
Yes.
perfect. Let's take a break, then we'll continue the session.
How many minutes?
Yeah, I just start the timer. It is for 20 minutes.
Okay. Yes.
Let me just